Welcome to South Harmon. Welcome to South Harmon. Hey, welcome to South Harmon. We glad you here today. Another AMA. Ask me anything. Super chat is cool if you wanna pay to play. Like and subscribe, that's what we really appreciate. Let me introduce you to the tear down king. Mike McNutty, ask your questions, he'll answer anything. ATM, you know Adam put them graphics on the screen. Glad you tapped in now, stay tapped in for the team. Hey, everything is posted. Go follow the socials. South Harmon FF tag us if we get noticed. Welcome to South Harmon, we glad you here today. Welcome to South Harmon, we glad you here today. Another AMA. Welcome to South Harmon, we glad you here today.
Yeah, we are back. Adam, what's up, buddy? Missed you last week.
What's going on, man? How we doing?
You back?
We are back,
you looking
baby.
as fresh as ever.
Try to be. You know, I'm getting old, buddy. Believe it or not, it's happening one day at a time. You know, and it's just quicker now with 2 kids. You know.
Yeah. You gotta be on your toes. Gotta be on your toes.
Yeah, man.
Speaking of which, if you want to be on your toes, try to take Adam and I down. SouthHarmonFF.com/beat South Harmon. Come get some.
Take them down.
We're gonna fucking gape these guys.
I mean,
you know that?
Well, I mean, there's that, but do they know how bad it's gonna be?
I just realized I said fucking gape these guys. We back.
We for the record, that was inside.
You said, do you know how hard it's gonna be?
Mike, that was inside of 2 minutes. We're gonna be.
It's good.
We're gonna be killed on the. What do you call those? Yep. The ad revenue is gonna go way out the window. We're toast, buddy.
That's true. Well,
it's all right. It's worth it. You know, fuck them. At this point, lean in.
Fuck them. Full-time fantasy. We got that league, man. What do you think?
I'm excited. I'm ready to see when these, chicken shits are gonna fill this thing up, man.
I don't think they're wanting it.
Oh, of course not.
Think they want
Especially after they saw the quarterback horde video was fire. Let's go, I've been wanting you to do one. I've been wanting you to do that video, so I'm glad you finally got to it, man. It's been time. You leaned into it pretty good, though. I liked it.
I'm a man of the people. Man of the people. Man of the people. I'm also a man of many helmets. Speaking of our sponsor, signed sh.it. Pow.
Bow.
Get these. Adam, I wish whoever made this Jonathan Moxon jersey that I'm rocking tonight, just so you guys are aware, that is what it is. West Canaan Coyotes, was that 1998? Maybe 99 that movie came out. John Moxon, James Vanderbeek.
Yep.
I love this one. I got to find me a Billy Bob and probably a Lance Harbor to go with it.
Oh, okay.
If I could get the white Billy Bob with the 69 on it, says Billy Bob on the back, the away jersey.
I like that. Absolutely, man. How
One
many
jersey I don't have,
boxes
I gotta
have you
find.
gotten at this point now?
Jesus
Do you know?
Christ.
Do you even
Mystery
have
boxes?
track on it? Yeah, it's been.
A lot.
I feel like it's been almost all of them, but I'm curious if you had like an idea.
Yeah, I got a problem.
North of 10 for sure. If you can't, 10 that are visible. We don't know where the rest of it is.
That's true. I got some mystery boxes, little mini helmets laying around here. Saving them for a rainy day. Little giveaway action. I got one I got to send up to Canada to Tom. And Adam, by the way, I got this whiskey ball mold.
Oh yeah.
Recently.
Okay.
Yeah, double balls. My cup is filled with 2 big balls. They fit perfectly in a South Harmon
the
glass.
start of the show is now getting to be a lot more weird.
It's so nice.
It's only weird as you make it,
It's true. True. That you've been busy doing all of your baby stuff. I've been busy because NCAA football has been out, and
I haven't even played
about anything else with my life.
I mean, now it was funny. I was tuned into. I think it was you and Fizzle were talking about it, and I got it early. I got the pre-release, which you get it 3 days ahead of time for absolutely no reason.
Nothing.
At this point, I haven't played it once, but I don't know. Every time I see it, it's like I get the itch, and then I go to think like, all right, I could play a game in about a half an hour, and I got to find that half an hour. I think I'll make it happen at some point this weekend. I really do. But I'm not going to, not going to, don't hold your breath, all right? Don't hold your breath.
Fingers crossed for you, buddy. Fingers crossed for you. How about this Brandon Aiyuk story, not story? Saga, drama? What the fuck's going on?
Yeah, what's your take on it? Do you put much stock into it? I mean, the guy's been all over social media, obviously, kind of making his opinions known, and we know where that's at. Does the reporting to camp, are you surprised by that? Did you expect this the whole time? Okay.
He just doesn't want to get fined, there's thousands and thousands of dollars at stake here.
If I was him, I think I'd just start doing the Marshawn Lynch. Thank you. I'm so used to I'm so talking to the rookie class. Marshawn Lloyd. The Marshawn Lynch, I'm just here so I won't get fined.
Fuck these rookies, man. We're past the rookies now. It's training camp season.
It's training camp season. We go backwards.
I saw multiple people. I kind of talked about it on another show, too. People saying, like, well, he has no leverage and yada, yada, yada. I was talking in the Discord with the fellas, by the way, patreon.com/South Harmon. It's a good spot to be. A lot of little insights and nuggets in there, especially with Cody being Mr. Traveler. Fuck, Maddie's was at Patriots camp today.
Dude, I know, man. I didn't realize. I don't know why Maddie doesn't put in there, like, beat reporter on his X account,
He should.
Yeah.
Patriots.
I've seen people put beat reporter that do far less than Maddie does.
Well, I'm a former scout for the Philadelphia Eagles in Madden 17.
Hey, can I say I'm with Trip Crown on this? Like, listen, I'm not going to put names out there, Mike.
Yes, it is.
But
it's the worst time.
We have 5 trades. We're going to see if we can get more and possibly do a trade show for the week, right? I got a DM today. I'm not going to put names out there. I just won't do that to somebody. But the trade comes in that's like, hey, which side do you want? And I'll just say that I've had enough discussions with this gentleman to know, like, which side he's going to be getting probably. And to also be like, what are we doing here? So I just asked him straight up, like, what side you getting here? And he tells me what I know. And I'm like, listen, for your own good, we need to put you on ice, buddy. Like, you want to win this thing so bad, you're going to fuck it up right now. Just patience, my friend. It's hard to have patience right now. We want the fucking season to be here, but I feel like sometimes when you're trying to make a deal or make something happen right now, like, the only thing that's going to come out of it is you making a deal that when you look back, you're like, why in the fucking hell did I do that? Why did I do that, Mike? Now I gave away all these good assets because I really wanted to have a deal done and have it look like this in the middle of, not even the middle, almost August here.
So to catch everybody up on the Brandon Aiyuk, in case you've been asleep, there's a lot of people coming out of their football slumber, right? They've been gone all off season. Welcome back, motherfuckers. We've been here, but Brandon Aiyuk wants a new contract. They haven't given him a new contract, so he requested a trade. He did report to training camp, and then today I'm watching a video of one of the beat reporters filming him as he's walking off the field, not in uniform, pads, whatever, just got a backpack and a fucking white shirt on and some fucking shoes. It says, walking into 49ers HQ with John Lynch. And everybody else is out there practicing. Not doing shit. Not doing shit. Adam, and, of course, speculation is rampant. That means he's getting traded. Or that means he's getting cussed out. Whatever the fuck it is. Adam, I take nothing from it. But if I'm Brandon Aiyuk, I was trying to get to that point. I was telling people in the Discord, people say he's got no leverage. He can't force a trade. He's going to have to play under the contract. Listen, it's 2024. Players have the most amount of leverage they've ever had, which is why you see giant deals everywhere, which is why you see trades all the time. Because of social media and us and shows like this and people having all this access 24/7, it comes at a cost. And the cost is to the teams and the general manager, because now players are more empowered than ever.
Sure.
So if you think Brandon Aiyuk doesn't have fucking leverage, you're insane. You're out there, okay? You're living in 1995. It's not 95 no more. It's 2024. Brandon Aiyuk can show up to camp. He can say he's hurt, not fucking do anything. They got to pay him. He can go into the season. He can play his 6 games, so his contract counts, and he gets his year of service, and he's still on track to be a free agent, etc. And then just say, my hamstring doesn't feel good. fuck y'all. Kiss my ass. I'm going to watch from home. And there's not a fucking thing they can do about it. Not a thing. And then teams next year are going to look at Brandon Aiyuk and be like, well, now look what he did to the 49ers. You think a wide receiver needy team is going to give a fuck? No. They are not going to care. They're going to give him $25 fucking million a year to come be their number one wide receiver.
Yeah, I think the point that needs to be emphasized with what you said is certain positions in particular have more leverage than ever, right? Like the wide receiver position as a whole has more leverage than it's ever had by, I mean, it's not even close. Like exponentially more leverage. Exponentially more money's going to that position. Now, if you're telling me this is a running back, right, we're having a different conversation because what happens there? We've seen that the running back position, like the longer they end up sitting, they're taking away from their shorter shelf life and teams don't give a fuck. So that position in particular maybe has to play. But Brandon Aiyuk plays the premier position outside of quarterback on the offensive side of the ball for Payne right now. So I think, listen, I don't want to speculate and act like I know what's going to happen because I don't, but I would imagine that something happens, the Niners make a decision to not allow like that to be something Aiyuk plays. But who knows? I know in the trade market right now, if you're trading for Brandon Aiyuk, let's say, you don't want to trade a whole like a first and more, right? All that draft capital to get a guy like Brandon Aiyuk who's great, but then you have to pay him right away. So there's going to be some interesting twists to this. I would love to see him actually. I'd love to see Frisco just pay him and stop fucking around, especially why Brock Purdy's on the cheapest rookie deal you could fucking have in the NFL. But we'll see. I didn't expect him not to report though, Mike. The guy wants money and hasn't been given the contract yet. He's not going to start bleeding more of that cash.
After that last CBA, it's prohibitive. And I see Tripp did put in the chat. By the way, Jay, thank you so much for the super chat.
Appreciate it, man.
Congratulations, Adam.
Man. Yep.
Daughter number 2. I see Tripp put in there. I'm not saying he's going to sit out the whole year, but you only have to play 6 games or be designated as injured, which isn't nothing for him to play 6 games and then go. Deuces. Hammy hurts.
Yep.
Fuck you. And he's still a free agent next year. And there's not a fucking thing they can do about it. And if he's got any type of agent that's smart at him, the agent knows what the leverage is. Like, either you fucking pay me or you trade me. You are in a Super Bowl window, and I get it. But they also got Trent Williams holding out for more money. They got Brock Purdy, who's going to come up for a contract next year, which if he plays well again, I mean, what the fuck is Brock Purdy getting next year? 50 mil? Right? Like, is that where the market has gone? Brock Purdy's going to get damn near 50 mil. Trent Williams they got to pay, and they got to pay Brandon Aiyuk, and they're already negative 35 mil against the cap next year.
Sure.
The 49ers are in a shitty fucking spot, but I'm here for it. I'm ready. Fuck the 49ers. I'm ready for them to fall apart. Fuck them.
Well, I mean, there's definitely some issues. The cap is a myth, though, especially when you have a quarterback for until they pay Purdy, that they could do so much to fuck around with the contracts. Yeah. It's simple. It's not. I don't want to say simple, but it kind of is. If you have GMs that know what they're doing. Now, the big thing I think will be actually, Mike, obviously, regardless of how we like, what do the Niners decide to do with Brock Purdy? Will be the most interesting thing, because to your point, I don't know if you guys remember this. It feels like a eternity ago. It was actually just, a season ago, a little over a year ago now, when Daniel Jones got 40? I mean, come on.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel Jones up to that point had nowhere near the level of NFL success that fucking Brock Purdy had. So
no, Daniel Jones never made a NFC Championship game in his life. Brock Purdy's been there and to the Super Bowl, for fuck's sake. So I'll give Brock Purdy that iota of credit, right? Like he does what's asked of him. He's a good quarterback for them, for their system. He is. And the fucking guy's going to get paid as long as he doesn't fall apart. But you saw, if anybody's watching the offseason Hard Knocks with the Giants, it's fucking fantastic. It's also interesting to see why the Giants are such a shit show too.
The phone call with Barkley was just fucking amazing, bro. Like,
yeah, it was.
You don't need to be a rocket scientist to just get like social cues, and we unfortunately we already knew ahead of time. We already knew ahead of time what happened, right? But you could just tell by the tone of his voice that all that like. So just he didn't respect or want nothing to do with them anymore, man. That was a bunch of
he's out.
Bunch of hogwash. And just to let you know, like where Saquon went, what he went through, and how little he ended up thinking of the Giants at the end of it, right? Not just am I not going to hit you back up like you want me to. I'm literally going to the rival across the street. So and Mike gets to fucking sit there happily through all this.
I do. It's pretty awesome. No, it's
yeah, two girls.
It's also,
Thank you.
But you saw how that played out, right? They ended up paying Daniel Jones all that money. They had to franchise tag Saquon Barkley. They couldn't ever work out a long-term deal. You know, they could have got him for less than what the Eagles paid him this year, like even less than what he got if they would have done it 2 years ago. But they couldn't because they had to franchise tag him because they paid Daniel Jones. So it's tough. It's tough if you're a 49ers fan, man. Your team's kind of – your window is slowly closing, and it fucking might already be closed, Adam. It really might with all these – shit, how's this money going to work? Now, we sit here as, you know, normal people with normal amounts of money going like –
I'm no one – Mike, I'll say this.
Why are you bitching about – you're making $14 million this year. Why are you bitching? Well, there's a reason millionaires love more money. That's how they got millionaires in the first place. So I'm all for Brandon Aiyuk, man. Fuck it. He's one of the better receivers in the NFL, and if he ever went to a system that could feature him exclusively, you know, and feed him 160 targets a year, you're going to see why he's so fucking good. Why?
Sure. I mean, yeah, he's Brandon Aiyuk is him. We'll see what happens. I don't think it's much of news. I don't think it's as newsworthy as currently it is. But here's the thing: there's nothing else going on. Like we just started to get training camp. There's just people are itching for any type of news. And
some Deneric Prince hype. Come on,
Deneric Prince hype is. What's your take on the Deneric Prince hype? I actually see a comment in here. We'll get to some other questions, but let's do any more training camp worthy discussions. We'll talk Deneric Prince here. What's your take?
He's interesting, right? A guy that we rostered a lot last year. We didn't get to see anything from. And then this year you find out, okay, at least to start training camp, he's running second-team reps, number 2 running back in. You know, no Jerick McKinnon, obviously. Clyde Edwards-Helaire has been a colossal bust for about ever. And it's Isaiah Pacheco's show, so they are in need of a second running back, so Deneric Prince getting the first crack at it. It's kind of intriguing, too, because it's not – when you go look at his athletic profile and some of his college production, you go, man, can't believe this guy didn't get, you know, a little more draft buzz. But it's interesting. At least in Dynasty, for a lot of people, this is how you should approach it, is running backs are like one-year bets outside of just a few guys. I know some people disagree with it. Maybe you got a 2-year bet or whatever, but we need to narrow our view. And if Deneric Prince was rostered or if you picked him up, cool. It was basically free. And if you get anything out of Deneric Prince this year, you're fucking happy. If you flip Deneric Prince right now for a third-round pick, even if he goes on to be the lead running back of the 49ers, I don't think you're going to be mad. Because if you do this time and time again with these kind of training camp buzz things, most of them pan out to be nothings. Right?
Yeah. Lead for the Chiefs. Lead for the Chiefs. And just so people don't come at you. You know, people love to get out your mess ups. Running back for the Chiefs.
Same thing. Whatever.
I know. I'm getting in front of the comments here. I'm trying to help you out.
Got it. But you know what I mean. Like if you get anything for him, like you're happy. You're happy, right?
For sure.
Speaking of the Chiefs, though, right? You remember this time, 5-6 years ago, the Darwin Thompson hype. Right?
I'll never forget that one. I'll never forget that one. I mean, there's been. I'll tell you this, regardless of running back position too, Darwin Thompson. The amount of hype for the Chiefs skill players that has absolutely flamed out. It's actually pretty impressive when you go back and look at it, buddy. Like, how many times? Like, how many times are we going to do this? Now, with Prince, I'll say the crazy part is, like, to your point, This is a dude that literally did not get a single carry throughout the entire year. Now get this, as an undrafted kid, and he's still on the roster, and now he's the second, like, well, whatever, potentially the number 2 back in the Chiefs' offense. I'll say, like, it's very odd, but it's certainly noteworthy because for an undrafted guy to get literally no run and then make the team and then now get buzz going into year 2, I think, one, it shows that their running back room as a whole is just devoid of anything outside of fucking Pacheco. Like, CEH just ain't it. But what's really interesting, too, is that I was on America's Game earlier. We're talking about it, Eric and I. Prince, and part of what was exciting about him last year was just the size speed, right? He's 216, runs a 4.4, big fast back, and an offense like that, it's exciting. So I think for me, it's just if you got him on waivers or you're still holding on to him. I think I was actually holding on to a couple shares, like in my taxis. There was like, what the fuck else am I going to do with it? Getting ready to cut him probably towards the start of the year. Great. Now you have, to your point, probably someone that you should be trying to trade if someone actually will do that. I'm not sure how many people will, but realistically, though, even if you don't trade him, he's a Pacheco injury away from the primary runner potentially in fucking KC with speed, home run speed. I don't know if you guys know this guy. There's a guy named Zamir White last year, and Zamir White, he didn't do anything for 2 whole seasons, Mike, and then all of a sudden, unbeknownst to anyone that was probably not rostering him or was if you're rostering him, you weren't thinking shit for Zamir White. He became, I don't know if I want to say a league winner, but he was a huge piece of teams in the playoffs if you were holding on or picked that guy off waivers. Like, Deneric Prince absolutely could end up with a potential workload that you would never saw coming if Pacheco gets hurt this year. So definitely newsworthy, at least on the stash side of things, I think.
I think probably the most newsworthy, and Maddie and Cody hit this on the hurdle last night talking about it, was just for the Chiefs anyways. Just how fucking smooth and like how quickly the Xavier Worthy has gone from like, oh, he's a bust. Look at anybody who runs a 4.2. They've all been dog shit. To all of a sudden, within like 2 training camp practices, as Patrick Mahomes hits him deep like every fucking one, people going like, oh shit, Xavier Worthy, that's the guy, right? Like how quickly that had flipped at him. I'm like fighting people to tell him like he's not Darius Hayward-Bay. He's not fucking, who is that Pittsburgh? Dree Archer, who ran really fast, who never did fuck in the league. Like, he's not these
Kent
guys.
State, man. Kent State.
He's not John Ross.
John Ross.
Or Justin Ross. Just pick a Ross.
What was the other really fast guy? There was another one that was like super fast. I can't remember now. Damn. Drawing a blank.
But just sucked. But like, he's not these guys.
There's other guys, ones too, yeah.
Those guys didn't come out and dominate at Texas as a fucking freshman and put up good stats every single fucking year. Those guys don't run routes as good as Xavier Worthy has in college. Like, Xavier Worthy was a lot closer to Devontae Smith than he fucking ever was to John Ross. So,
well, I mean,
now to see that kind of flipped in like the hype building around Xavier Worthy and the Patrick Mahomes connection his rookie year, I'm like, welcome back, fuckers. I tried to be patient with you and be the voice of reason and telling you that, you know, right after Rome Odunze, the conversation is Xavier Worthy or Brian Thomas Jr., but you didn't want to listen. So,
I mean, the thing about it, too, was, like, I kind of feel, I mean, John Ross, I would say, yeah, he had someone put here, he had a good college profile. But
no, he only did shit his senior year. Like, I mean, he didn't do fuck all before that at all.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't say he had a good profile.
No,
He had a good, was it last year? Whatever his last year was at
So he had 16 for 208, 17 for 371, and then he went 81 for 1150.
He was really young, though, I remember. One thing about him, too, if I remember correctly, when he came out. I might be wrong on that, but I thought he was pretty young.
Ross?
Yeah. I want to say he was like 17 in college, brother. I swear, when his first year was around.
Ooh.
Anyway, it turned out to be nothing. And the thing about Xavier Worthy, though, is like, one, if you didn't think hype was coming in camp, I don't know, like what you thought, what you think happens during training camp. Training camp buzz is always one of my funnest, like one of the more fun things to kind of track, dude. Like, Mike, remember Laviska Shenault hype got to an absolute freak level. They were going to make the offense run through Laviska Shenault. Like, the hype in training camp is.
You and I bought that shit.
Absolutely 100%.
And that shit lasted for years. Like,
well, that was him going. That was after like some games in his rookie season that he played well, right? So he was going into his sophomore year, and it's like, oh shit, they're building the offense around Viska. Like, let's go. Look what happens. A lot of times, hype is just that. But the thing about it with Xavier Worthy, to your point, like the draft capital, the speed, and then not just the speed. If you're going to have someone that's extremely fast, that potentially is also good at football, wouldn't you like them to be catching the football from Patrick Mahomes? Like the guy that can actually hit basically anybody in stride anywhere on the field. So I'm very curious to see what happens with Rashee Rice. And Eric and I were talking about America's game. I mean, if he might end up fucking playing all year for all we know. They might not come out and do anything. So
it's very likely. People always assume like when something bad happens, that dude's getting suspended.
They're going to put him on the commissioner's exempt list at worst. What do you
stop it?
Show me where that happened before like this. This isn't that level of. This wasn't Deshaun Watson-esque right here. So
we'll John Ross was a senior when he got drafted. Was a senior. He got injured his junior year, didn't play at all. His senior year. Came out, had that big year, and then he got drafted, and he was 21 and a half when he got drafted. And his profile wasn't that great. I mean, the senior year profile was fine. The rest of it was terrible.
Yeah.
Look at this guy. I'm pretty sure Xavier Worthy had better stats in his true freshman year at 18 than John Ross had at 21. And for those of you who don't pay attention to college, the true freshman shit does mean something. Like to come out and do it against other grown-ass fucking men who are in their 20s already, 21, 22 years old when you're fresh out of high school, fucking means something, all right? Not saying it's the end-all, be-all. Brian Edwards, remember that one? That breakout age? It's not the end-all, be-all, but it does mean something. There is something to it.
We got Puka's tribes here, man. Puka's tribe is here. I mean, listen, I'm not. There's
You're
no
the Puka truther.
You won't get any. I was just going to say we're not going to give any. We're not going to besmirch the name of Puka Nacua, okay?
Puka Nacua.
But we're not also going to do that to Brandon Aiyuk. And half is good. I mean, Mike, if you tell me you think that Puka's a better receiver than Aiyuk, I'm not. Whatever. I'm not going to fight you. But what are we doing?
I'll fight you.
Here's what I'm not going to put up with is, like, I don't know what Aiyuk has to do. It feels like it's finally gotten to a point after last year, Mike, that people are ready to put Aiyuk near the pedestal that he should be on. Except for, I don't know, maybe not quite yet. Maybe not quite yet. You know, maybe we're not quite where we need to be with Brandon Aiyuk.
Just ask yourself a question: if you don't like Brandon Aiyuk, why? And really dig into it, because the only fucking answer you're gonna give me is target volume. That's it. It's the only fucking answer you have.
He was a second-round rookie pick.
It isn't his separation. It isn't his contested catch rate. It isn't his ability to get downfield. It sure as fuck isn't his efficiency. It isn't his yak ability. It isn't his fact that he's on the field all the fucking time. The only thing you got is target volume, because he plays in an offense with Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, and George Kittle, and it's led by a former Iowa State quarterback. That's it. That's the only fucking argument you have.
Well, I mean, and essentially it's probably baking in that Aiyuk's only thriving because it's Frisco, and everybody thrives in Frisco. They have all these skilled players that do well and all that shit. But listen, let's save the energy for something that's exciting. Speaking of which, Corey's here, so now we're good. We can start. Thank you.
So we're good, man. I didn't know if
starting,
Corey
let's get the questions.
After that, I don't know if Corey was going to show up after that beatdown I gave him Saturday night.
I wasn't there, obviously. I heard a little bit of rumblings. What are we talking here? How bad was it?
No. So I beat Corey.
Yeah.
Which is given. That was post stream. You know, he wanted that smoke, to redeem Fizzle on his massive blowout. Fizzle's 748-2 blowout or whatever the fuck Bird Emmanuel Jr. and the Chippewas put on him on stream. So Corey came and he got some of that smoke too. But he also went home a loser. So, Adam, I'm carrying the weight for South Harmon since you haven't been able to play. 3-0. All right, we're undefeated. Beat South Harmon? Pfft, good luck.
I mean, fantasy, sticks, hands.
Maddie, you know I'm going to fucking give him strays all the time, man. Fuck that guy.
Matty Gomes, baby. Yeah, don't. By the way, listen, I like, speaking of strays, thank you, Poyle. I appreciate you. I really do.
Akers and Houston, with your love for
Akers get signed. I knew, Mike, what's funny is I knew that nobody would be like, oh, well, you held on to Akers for too long, because I was like, I'm going to cut him if he doesn't get on a team. He gets on a team, and I knew, what am I going to get? Strays out the ass. Like, Adam told me to buy Akers. Adam was the biggest Akers lover, and you're not wrong. I deserve it. Sorry, Poyle. I apologize.
You know how down on Joe Mixon I've been this offseason.
I do.
Like, I don't understand the hype on him. Listen, the Cam Akers signing did, like, nothing. I'm like, I can't, even like the anti-Mixon guy can't fucking do anything with this one. Jesus, you couldn't find somebody else? Like, at least sign Leonard Fournette, and maybe I could spin a web where Uncle Lenny would not fucking Cam Akers, man. Not Cam Akers.
Poyle, I'll tell you what. This time, I'll keep my mouth closed, because every time I try to tell you that Akers was back after a good game, whatever it was, it just immediately plummeted his whatever happened to him off the field, on the field, and his dynasty stock. So I'm gonna stay away from this one, because he doesn't have any dynasty value, for the record.
Well, he doesn't have any Achilles either.
He doesn't need them.
He's gone through them all.
People forget that he, after the one Achilles, was great in 2022, and then we had the whole McVay-Kyren thing again. It was awesome, right? Everyone got back in on Akers just for Kyren to fucking steal the show week 1 and Akers to quit.
Oh, it's so sad.
And then he actually holds out, or just says I'm not playing, gets traded just to tear that other Achilles. It's a fun journey the poor kid's been on, huh?
Poor man. It started with playing
behind
behind
you play running back. You play running back where you have, like, Achilles is like is the singular worst thing that you can have happen other than die, right? To that position. You got to tear both, brother. Like, you got to tear both before you turn like 25. That's fucking brutal.
Somebody doesn't like him. His juju that is around him is not very good. All right, somebody's got a doll doing bad things to the doll.
I feel like every time I tried to explain how high I was on him, I was doing that with Cam Akers. Anyway, is Allen, Kyler, Watson, and Rodgers considered a quarterback horde, Mike?
Kind of. You got 4. You're definitely going to trade one, but the problem is Rodgers is old as fuck, and Watson nobody likes. So
I would say yes, because what you have to do here is you basically have to decide, though, Sean, are you willing to not have 2 elite quarterbacks, right? Trading Watson and Rodgers just is not worth it, not going to happen, right? Like, I mean, unless you either have an idiot league mate or there's some crazy game that happens in the early part of the season that gives you some fucking boost.
Well, I was going to say trade Watson or Rodgers. Either Eric's got to be in the league to take Aaron Rodgers off your hands,
there you go.
Or you and I have to be in the league to take Deshaun Watson off your hands.
If you give me Watson
if you don't play in leagues with us.
Yeah, and if you guys want to give me Watson for market price of second-round picks, sure. I'll take all that Watson.
Sign me up. I'll take all that Watson.
But no, I think that Watson is a guy that, right now, his dynasty value's, I mean, as low as it's ever been in his career. Rodgers has, we'll see if he even has what he gives you points per game wise, but, maybe a year or 2 out of him. But you could probably move off of Allen or Kyler for a significant haul. So Mike's right. It's only a quarterback horde if you're willing to trade an Allen or Kyler or down tier from them. But what is nice, though, I think, Mike, in the current landscape, for me anyway, is that a lot of those type quarterbacks, Watson, Rodgers, they're so damn cheap that, like in a startup, I would be willing to draft them as my quarterback 4, quarterback 5. And while it's not technically to trade them, it's to basically let them be my cheap quarterback 3.
Yeah.
Would you be willing? Would you be willing to trade Kyler for a significant haul and roll with Watson, Rodgers as your super flex?
Yeah, I think I would. It'd have to be.
It has to be the super haul. Yeah.
It has to be that super haul.
And realistically, to get a super haul, it's probably going to have to be Allen, or unless you're willing to wait into the season when fucking Kyler goes bananas with Marv and Trey, because it's going to happen. It's going to fucking happen, buddy.
I feel bad for Malik Nabers too, watching this Hard Knocks thing, because the Giants are so in on Malik Nabers.
Super.
Like, they were so in on him. It's like, oh man, that organization, they picked you. They wanted you over Marv. That organization sucks. This means Malik Nabers is probably going to stink. I'm just connecting the dots here.
Hopefully, he could at least give us like the start of OBJ, where everyone just freaks out. Now, it turns really sour at some point, and it is what it is. But
I love Malik Nabers too. I've been hyping him up on this show, and then I'm watching Hard Knocks, and I'm like, wait a minute. These guys. This is like when the shittiest manager in your Dynasty league like has their guy, right? Mm-hmm. Like, but you also kind of like that guy, and you're like, oh no, I don't know how to feel about this. Steve usually sucks. There's a reason he's in last place, because he's terrible at this. And Malik Nabers is he is that guy for the shittiest Dynasty team in the NFL.
I will say though, Mike, as while you say that, and I'm thinking about OBJ, can I tell you OBJ's career? The worst position he was in was not in New York. It was the team he played after that. He went to Cleveland to die. They sent him the mistake on the lake, and that was it for him. You know, him and Landry came here. People were all excited for what? For fucking what?
And then nothing happened.
A lot happened. He fucking leaves the team. We didn't win shit. We're on the cover of like, what was it, Sports Illustrated or something, right? Like, with those two guys, are they Super Bowl contenders? Like, we haven't won the division since the fucking 80s, man. Stop it.
Did this man just say the Giants don't draft poorly?
I mean, Tripp Crown did say that.
Did you watch who the right tackle was last year? Just, okay. I'll leave it there.
All right, let's see. Do we have
Jesus Christ.
Damn. Bargustus with some good I like this here. We're not going to get political on the show either, but I'll throw this on I'll throw this right here. Fantastic.
There we go.
All right, Mike. We have any questions? I love how the show always does this, right? We kind of have some questions to start, and then it gets off the rails. Aiyuk, hate, all this training camp buzz, Deneric Prince, and then everyone's just like, there's no actual Dynasty questions. They're just commenting. I love this fucking show so much.
It's fucking great.
All right. Let me see if I go back to the old school. All right. So someone with Caleb and Stroud traded away T-Law, Brian Thomas Jr., and Pitts, no premium, for Gibbs and Pacheco. This is a 12-team start 9 Superflex league. I understand pushing your chips in, but not getting a quarterback back? I mean, no.
Jesus.
What?
No fucking way. T-Law and Gibbs, damn near cancel out on their own, don't they? Especially if you needed a quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you had excess, so like if you have Caleb, Stroud, and T-Law, I can understand trading one of them for a skill player. But I don't know, man. This trade, I guess with no premium, it I don't know. It feels a little bit light still, to be honest with you. And 12-team start 9 just feels a little bit light, if I'm being honest. Even in no tight end premium, where Pitts in no premium, I kind of don't give a fuck about Pitts, if I'm being honest. But like, I care, I guess, a little more than I don't give a fuck, because this feels like I'm just giving him away. I don't really want to give him away for free.
No thanks. Yeah. I
mean, Pacheco, I'll definitely take Pacheco ahead of Brian Thomas Jr., but I don't know.
If this was a 10-team league, right? That's a good trade for the
10-team league, I would do this, definitely, 100%, not 12-team.
One QB league, it's a good trade.
I mean,
Superflex league, pretty shitty trade.
Someone really likes Gibbs, though. I'll say that for sure. Someone really likes Gibbs, and I do. I love Gibbs, but this is, whew, yikes.
They love him.
Ethan always has a question early on. Traded Garrett Wilson in a 25-second, mid-second for Bowers and DJM. Just got out of startup. Have Love, T-Law, May, Warren, Connor, Nico, Godwin, Keon, Wicks, Ingram, Goddard, and a 12-team start 11, 0.75 tight end premium, 6-point passing touchdown. What do you think here? Garrett Wilson in a second or Bowers and DJ Moore?
Ooh, it's pretty even. Me personally, though, I probably want Garrett Wilson in the second side, Adam. I'm with you, man. Finally, for the first fucking time, I'm in on Garrett Wilson to the moon. So
we got there. Moore. We got there. It was, dude. We just started making content, Mike. We weren't even like trying to make it at scale at all. We were doing like remember we just did once a week. We would do the 22 rookie mocks, right? And we were talking about who our wide receiver one. You had London, and I had Garrett Wilson. Not that there was like a true winner there. Those guys are both great, but haven't produced for shit, both of them. But yeah, man, I'm glad to see you in on Garrett Wilson. It's been a long ride getting to here. Unfortunately, both those guys haven't produced, and we're hoping that at least Garrett Wilson does this year. Mike, you know how bad it would be if Garrett Wilson going into this year gives you again nothing. I don't see how it's possible, frankly. But
I'd be done. I'd be so done. So
that would really, Mike. That would really hurt my soul, buddy. Honestly, it would. I'd be willing to trade him at just insane cost. Horrible. I want Garrett Wilson though in this trade.
My fucking team.
Yeah, I want Garrett Wilson in this trade because, like, if you told me that Bauer's a different player that's going in the same range as him in like a startup or dynasty trades, but it wasn't the tight end position, I think I could probably get on board with this, right? But I just think about it in a start 11 league. You definitely want depth, so I get it there. But Garrett Wilson's just one of these really tough to acquire assets, and I'll be honest with this. While it makes sense, I don't love giving up a second here either. Like why I'm getting off of the premium player, and then why do I have to give a pick at all? Fuck that.
Let's just play it out though hypothetically. Let's say
sure.
I just saw Matty Gomes put in there too about it. What if Davante Adams got traded?
Okay.
To the Jets.
Okay.
Adams goes to the Jets. Kind of fucks up the whole Garrett Wilson a little bit, like how we feel about it. And now Brock Bowers, Jacoby Myers are the only show left in town in Vegas.
I mean, to tell you the truth, I'm not super worried about Adams going there and like ruining it for Garrett Wilson. I think his ceiling would come down, but you telling me Garrett Wilson's a wide receiver too on an NFL team? We're talking about Cook City. People are getting fucking cooked, Mike. Getting fucking cooked.
I love it. So
you want to talk about Brandon Aiyuk's efficiency? Imagine Garrett Wilson or Davante Adams with number 2 corners on them, or you can't double them. Dude, did y'all see, Mike, did you see all that Davante Adams, some of this documentary? I mean.
The Netflix series?
Yeah, he's fucking good, man. I'm going to get fucking killed. I got to get out of here, right? Like.
A lot of people took it away, right? All the shots at Jimmy G, which was great because I've said
we've been fans of that bandwagon for a while. So
I said the greatest trick the Devils ever pulled was convincing the world that Jimmy G was a good quarterback, and just to see Davante Adams being like, "I gotta get the fuck out of here."
Side note: don't forget Sean McVay had to at least have himself get his hands on Jimmy G one time real quick, you know.
He had to get his hands on Carson Wentz too. Baker Mayfield.
He can't stay away. Anyway,
he loves those reclamation projects. But Jimmy G was fucking god awful. But the one thing I did take away from that whole series and listening to Davante Adams so far has been like he kind of seems to like Aiden O'Connell. So like all these people are like Gardner Minshew starting for the Raiders. I think this is Aiden O'Connell's fucking job to lose, man. And if Adams stays, like he seems to like Aiden because Aiden's like, hey, where the fuck's 17 at? That's who I'm throwing up. Yeah. Fuck you, Jacoby Myers. You and I love Jacoby Myers too, like just kind of as a sneaky one. But Aiden was like really like, 17. That's who I'm throwing the football to. I'll say play I can.
I'll say I saw some of the games, Mike, but not that many, just on Sunday Ticket. And watching the documentary, like I don't care who's under center, he's gonna love him. After what happened last year, buddy, it was pretty rough for Adams. Now he's also spoiled because I think give Aiden O'Connell the reins for a little bit and see how much you love him then. You know, he'll still throw the ball your way, but wait until they're not accurate and you're getting fucking crushed over the middle again. You know.
So where Davante Adams is now too, like we forget that his first couple years in the league he did fuck all. So I wonder if Aaron Rodgers, like in those first couple years, if he was mic'd up like for this series. Right, if you would have heard Aaron Rodgers like cussing out Davante Adams as he walks to the sideline, like, where the fuck is rookie going? What the fuck is? Because Davante Adams did fuck all in his first couple of years. He did.
I will
nothing.
one of the things like is actually pretty. I don't know if you saw this or heard about. You probably understand and know that there was the whole turmoil with Aaron Rodgers and fucking McCarthy towards the end there, right? But like,
yeah.
What was great was this is back in the day. MVS was, I think, he was going into his second season, all right, and he was actually, it's like a walking on the street interview with a Barstool girl. So they're doing this interview, and he was explaining how crazy and fucked up his rookie season was. Basically, like, you have the coach that tells you to do this, and then you're a young rookie who already at that point as a receiver, like, it's really hard to establish rapport with Rodgers. And you have Rodgers is telling you to do something else, and you're like, you have to make a decision.
Who do I listen to?
Yeah, because if I don't listen to coach, I don't get on the field. But if I don't listen to Rodgers, what the fuck does it matter that I'm on the field? It was.
I'm not gonna get the ball thrown to me.
If I might have to try to see if I could dig that up. It was really interesting listening to that, and I think
that poor guy, man. No wonder MVS has sucked for his entire career.
No wonder he's dropping balls in the end zone. He still can't fucking figure out what to do, who to listen to. You know?
Who the fuck do I listen to? I'm so confused. No. That poor guy, man.
No, but
poor
like,
Marquez.
But yeah, I imagine Devontae Adams had some similar things going on prior. Was the whole point with that. But man, that shit was hilarious, bro.
You think McCarthy's telling him to do one thing, and then Rodgers is like, "Nah, you'll fucking do this."
I forget the number. There was the numbers around it, but like Rodgers checked, audibled at the line of scrimmage. Like there's a number of the most, but it was like over 75% of the time he's audibling. I'm telling you, that one season before McCarthy was out of there, it's like literally anything he says, we're not doing that.
So speaking of college football earlier, Adam, the road to glory mode. Like I go in and I quarterback, and I end up going to Iowa, of course, because I got to be it. So I just started fucking around with this road to glory mode.
How big did you make yourself? Did you fucking tank yourself?
Dude, 6'5", 255, quarterback, full beard.
This dude's Jelani Woods at QB. My God.
Yeah, easily.
Love
easily.
that.
Of course, scrambler too.
I mean, I guess kind of like Cam Newton, low key, though. All right.
Yeah, but white with a beard.
Yeah, the Mike version for sure.
Yeah, just yoked up, right? I got a neck roll. Got to have a neck roll.
The hillbilly version. You seen LeBron James, Mike?
Yes.
Mike's the LeBron James of fucking Cam Newton, right?
Yes, I am. But anyways, so in that mode, when you're a freshman, they don't let you call fucking plays, right? The coach calls them. It's usually runs. You can't even audible out of the fucking place. So like I'm waiting till I get enough coach trust so I can be like, man, fuck these plays. We ain't running this shit. I'm gonna be Aaron Rodgers in college. Like, fuck you. This place sucks. Let's get to the next.
Could you imagine, like, what was great was MVS was a rookie, so he's so like inexperienced, and that's his first year. But like, imagine being a part of that. I've been a part of my last 2 years of college where like the locker room was just a fucking disaster. Can you imagine your head coach and your franchise QB at that type of war? It's just insane. It's just insane, bro. Insane.
And it's not just franchise QB too, like legendary.
Yeah, he was already a legend. He was a Hall of Famer first ballot as soon as he retired at that point. Yes.
Stupid good.
All I can think about is Mike and I rolling up to the shit house together. Where am I? By the way, it's all right. I only live 20 minutes away. I'm not a part of this.
You'll be there, buddy. But no, Corey's flying in, and he got his flight. So
that's right. Y'all are coming in actually together. Okay, I get it.
And I got the rental car, so we're gonna
scoop
ride
him?
down to
at the airport.
Yep. We'll
all
pick
right,
him up
fair
at
enough.
The Cleveland airport.
I love
That's why he said rolling in together, because literally,
I get it.
I don't know what kind of car we got. I got the premium luxury.
Okay.
The big one. All
Listen,
right, I'm
Mike,
fat, so
Mike,
I don't want no
going into year 3 for the Expo. Mike will spare no expense. The premium with the car, that's just for starters. All right. Wait till you see the spread in this thing. You know.
I looked at a Lambo or something exotic, but the
Mike's gonna be driving around a fucking
like,
exotic car in Canton, Ohio, buddy. I'm glad you didn't. I don't know that you've been driving around in that a lot. There are some fucking potholes in Canton that ain't gonna ever get fixed. Wolf. You would be fucked. Yeah. Now I like the idea, just Canton probably ain't the spot for it. Anyway, the we're here to fuck shit up though. It's such a South Harmon moment, you know.
Yeah, it is. I'm gonna need that address so I can plug it in the GPS.
Boom.
and then the code to get in, obviously.
Oh yeah. I'll tell you what. For you guys, will just like someone will be waiting there to press it, like as you walk up, as if it's like automated for you. Just bam,
Yeah.
door
We can
opens.
probably get one of the shitheads to valet too, like park my shit. Bags go to the detention room.
I'll tell you what, Mike. So this year
I was gonna put you on the spot too, by the way.
Go ahead.
The Expo.
Okay.
Fizz and I, you were having a baby, but we were talking. Is this the year I get the executive suite? Is this the year? Like, do we get to flip flop? Do I get or are you going executive again?
Well, I mean, how did this come up? I'm curious. I don't know.
I don't even know how the fuck it came up.
Well, Corey's gonna be really. Didn't you and Corey room?
Well, that's fine. I have him sleep on the couch.
Oh,
The executives.
damn.
It's a big ass couch.
Corey's out here like, I can't wait to be there with my buddy Mike, and Mike's like, listen, man, you're fucked, dude. I'm throwing you to the wolves. Like,
It's either pick him up from the airport or room with him.
I mean, anything can be discussed, but like Mike, how likely are you to trade some players on your goon squad teams at market? And it's not happening type thing. We could discuss it. Sure. We could discuss it.
This is
I don't know that it'll be fruitful, but we could discuss it.
This is like the fucking Ricky Bobby conversation. But if you win,
but then
how am I gonna win?
Now you right. Yeah, you right. I'm gonna just not talk about it anymore. Just bury it deep down inside. Maybe it'd be cool, Ricky, if sometimes you'd slingshot me in for the win.
Yeah, maybe Adam, it'd be real cool if you'd slingshot me in to the executive suite.
I like that, Mike. But then how would I have the executive suite?
Yeah, you're right.
No, if you actually really want it, we could discuss it.
I just steal Cooper's room again too. I'll take 3 rooms like I did last year.
The bigger problem, which can't really be discussed at length here, is that like what that would end up being is that that room would end up having an aura around it that most people just wouldn't view it the same. You know what I mean? It just kind of ruined the whole experience.
That's right. With you in it, it's a safe space.
Kind
With
of.
me in it.
The only thing that wasn't safe was
shot.
me there. Rip almost destroyed my leg. It would have been
That's true.
This year, what I was actually going to say, though, with all that, I can't remember how the fuck I was going to say this, but, you were talking about getting a valet person. Mike, this year we have Justin Guzman, coming to do the camera work. We're going to get a documentary out there. Kind of like this whole Raiders thing, right? Like, what really happened at the fucking shit house during that week.
Yeah.
Maybe next year we're like, hey, listen, we get one person, room and board's covered, but you're fucking DD, you're valet. Like, this is what I think it's something we keep in the, not necessarily guarantee anything, but I think it's something we kind of.
I think it is, and maybe we get a chef's assistant to T-Rock.
There you go. T-Rock, that would be sweet. That would be sweet. I like that.
T-Rock's the executive chef, but he's got his sous chef or whatever the fuck
Here,
it is.
valet, go drive. I need more of this shit over there. I need more chicken. I need more steak. Go pick it up.
More chicken.
Here's the fucking company card. Make sure you bring a bunch of booze back with you too.
I like it. All
right.
We need an intern at South Harmon. That's what we need. If you'd like to apply to be the intern a year in advance, let me know.
We're accepting all applications.
Devin Stales.
Appreciate the super chat, Devin. I almost overlooked this. I apologize. All right, so 1/2 currently in the 6th round, or 1 out of 2, sorry. Currently in the 6th round of No Flex Best Ball League startup. Okay. 2 quarterback, 3 running back, 4 receiver, 2 tight ends with 1.75 tight end premium. Could y'all run the warp on the league? Yeah, just give us the league name.
I love it. He just skips right to it. He was like,
for the record, Devin.
That warp.
But I was gonna say, Devin, for the record, you were $1 in you were like $1 and change, $1.80 from having the warp tool yourself.
Unlimited for a month.
Right, but I'm fine with this. Frankly, it's okay. We'll pull it. Absolutely, it's a good time to pull the warp tool. Never a bad time.
Yeah, we just need the name, the sleeper username, and the league name, and I'll run it for you.
By the way, Mike, you know, ball is life, right? Ball is life. Yeah.
Yeah.
Warp.life. Make sure you go check that out. That's my favorite way to get to the Warp tool.
Warp. You know, I've never once in the history of the Warp tool typed in warp.life.
Warp is life, baby. Warp.life gets you right to the Warp tool, buddy.
So,
fastest and greatest way to get there.
So when I go to my Google browser, right?
Yeah.
And I click on the empty search bar.
Okay.
Okay. South Harmon FF/warp is the number 2 thing that comes up total. Like before I even type anything.
Wow.
If I type S, it's the number 1 thing. If I don't type anything, it's the number 2 thing. If I type P, it's still number 2. And for those of you who know, you know.
You know.
So I have a feeling it's always going to be number 2, but it's right up there with the fucking greats of the greats.
You want to talk about number 2 is perfect segue for shit, right? And also, that was all you needed to hear to really understand why. At the end of the day, the discussion will be that I probably end up staying in that executive suite for the good of the fucking shit house, you know?
For the good of what? Me and Alexa got a date.
I mean, yeah, you can come kick it.
Go kick it. BBL. Oh, I love that.
It's like when it's like when he calls him in his house.
Yes.
I wish you'd come over.
BBL. All right.
No, I don't know why I'm talking to you, man.
That's fucking great. That movie, those two together,
so
such
good,
a
man. Yeah, they had a little epic run for sure.
It always gets me too because if you ever watch that 1980, 86, 80, 85 maybe, Days of Thunder with Tom Cruise.
Okay.
You know, the guy who plays Dale, the guy who plays,
John C. Reilly?
John C. Reilly. He plays in Days of Thunder, right?
Really?
Yeah, he's the kid of Buddy Bretherton. Bretherton, is that right?
Dude,
Buddy,
really?
Buddy. Yeah, his dad is the one who dies at Daytona or whatever, hits the wall.
Holy shit!
He's like on the
you're
pit
right.
crew.
Buck Bretherton.
Buck Bretherton.
Dude, I gotta go. I gotta go back and see where that happens. I didn't even remember that at all.
He's in that fucking movie. It's fucking crazy. It's crazy to me.
1990 for the record. That
was when it came out. Okay. Well, it feels like 80s.
No, it does. It definitely does.
A lot of Tom Cruise stuff, early Tom Cruise always feels like 80s.
All right, so you got the warp. What do we got, buddy?
Yeah, okay. Ooh. What positions?
Hey, Derek.
Hey,
what's up, honey?
What up, D-bro?
With that avatar, you can't talk to me like that. It gets me all excited.
We are less than 2 weeks away from getting to see Derek. That's so good.
Dude, T-Rock talked him into coming over to the shit house, buddy. I'm excited.
Last year, we couldn't, force him. We were going to have to kidnap him to get him over there. He was all afraid.
Well, yeah, that's some things we kind of leave for not off air, but yeah, Mike didn't want to. Mike was close to kidnapping D-Bro.
I think I could, but D-Bro's been working out, so maybe he might be able to take me.
Yeah.
Might be able to take me.
I would, just let him come on his own terms this year, hopefully. But to the warp, before we talk debauchery. What do you got in the warp?
What was the question?
Yeah, let me go back and pull it.
Quarterbacks are stupid good in this league.
So here, it is, what's the warp on, okay, here, let me give you the second part of the question. So what positions would you prioritize after quarterback based on the warp? And I started with 3 quarterbacks, and it's 0.2 points per carry as well. Is it running backs? I kind of figured it would be.
If you're going to compete. If you're not planning on competing, maybe you took some more developmental quarterbacks at the top. Whatever the fuck you really have an idea for this team. If it's not competing, you don't want to run the rat race. Mm-hmm. Wide restaivers. Fuck them tight ends. Just find some dudes later. It'd be wide receivers.
What's his username?
But if you're Stales. Stails.
Okay.
Very first league that's on there too.
Okay. Stails. Got it.
Yep. Quarterbacks and running backs run this fucking league, man. It's crazy how much just that 0.2 point per carry changes everything.
It. Well, that in 3 running backs, so I guess it's not technically scarcity, but you got to play 3 of them, and there's a 0.2 points per carry. Sheesh. Yeah, man. Oh, he says he is a warp worshiper. He just wanted us to run it. Look at you,
He just wanted our opinions. Thanks, Dad.
Yeah, we appreciate that. We really do.
Maybe it's Devon.
Oh. What if it was Devon without the apostrophe and the capital V? That'd be pretty sweet.
Oh, I'm down to just balls now.
I was going to say, Mike, we're definitely getting to the point where Mike is getting close to that empty cup there. You know, you can kind of tell.
Can you see both? But yeah, you can. You can see both balls.
So,
I wasn't kidding. Just a set of nuts.
Mike wants to put his hands on those things so bad.
I'm going to rub them as soon as we're off air.
I don't doubt it. It's either that or he's going to finish them. Yeah. Running back, Mike, is definitely ahead. Is one of those I would say that I prioritize if I can get, especially if I can get the top backs. Okay,
yeah.
I'm cooking. And then after that, I think I'm probably, if there's some values at running back position, I'm in. But the wide receiver warp's not terrible. It's just definitely I would prioritize the premier running backs or running backs at any type of value for sure, given this warp.
You know what I'd definitely be doing in this league, though?
Tell me.
Just like the video. Quarterback
Warden? Yeah, I mean, well, this would be one of those if you got 3 of the top 12 to 15 quarterbacks, that's even just 3. Obviously, you can get more too in a quarterback court. But if you had that, whew, you got. Speaking of having people by the balls, like Mike wants those. I mean, your balls are going to be really cold, buddy, real cold,
iced out.
I'm getting another beer. I hope you keep talking a bit. I mean. I won't listen, Poyle, I won't say no. Mike's cup's empty, but it's all right. I love that too. Poyle's like, listen, Mike, you stay there. No booze. I'm gonna go get my ass another beer. It's fucking awesome.
Got it.
Mike loves his balls all wet. Wow. Matt, I hate to do this to you, but listen, you're part of the squad now, so I'm gonna do it to you. What you could do is get so drunk that you lock yourself in a room and you can't get to the bathroom and you have to open up the window. And Mike, I'll be honest, I didn't know what was happening. It was maybe 10 feet in front of me as we're leaving. It just little piss string. It's pretty cool. Matt, be careful this time up there by yourself in that room. All right.
Ooh. Poor Matt.
All right, Harry Snowman. Appreciate you coming by, man.
See you, Harry.
We're glad you're here today. I always think of the abominable snowman for some reason, Mike, when Harry Snowman types in. Just the way. I don't know, just the way it goes.
Is there any more insufferable Twitter account than CJ Golden? Remember that guy?
Yeah, I don't know his Twitter.
Avatar.
I don't know his Twitter account though, so I don't know how to answer that. Why is it so insufferable?
Now and then, it just does. So breaking.
It just is.
Per sources, Minnesota Vikings undrafted free agent rookie Ty James dominated his first team reps, first full day of training camp. Good for.
You love that, don't you? You love that.
Just shut the fuck up. It's a fucking
Dirty Bird. Let's do the Dirty Bird, man. 14.
Do you know where Ty James went to school?
I do not. Nope.
Got any guesses?
Do you want to give me a super hint like last time we did this game?
I'll give you a super hint.
Okay. Let's play. This time it's not for $100, so let's give me a super hint.
You're never getting this one.
What? Okay. You said that same thing. I probably won't get this one, but you said that same thing for sure.
It's not an FBS school.
Okay.
There's the first one.
I know a lot of those schools actually. Can you give me? I mean, not an FBS school. I feel like that's not a super hint. That narrows it down to like a fucking shitload of schools. All right.
Gotcha.
I'm listening. Anything else?
Every now and then they're in the basketball tournament.
Every now and then. So it's not someone that dominates the division or their conference.
No.
Okay.
Jesus.
All right, give me a third hint, and then I'll just try to guess.
Their mascot is a bear.
My man is super hints. This is fucking brutal.
Their school colors are orange.
Okay, school colors are orange.
Yeah.
Bear. If only there was a more helpful clue. Bears. It's actually probably okay. So we're
School
FBS.
Name starts with an M.
M. Bears. This is tough now. That's plenty of hints, by the way. I should be able to get this.
I would hope so. I gave you a ton.
Yeah, you did.
It's a toughie.
I'm trying to think. M schools. It's a lot of fucking M schools I'm just going through in my head right now.
Fucking D-Bro ruined it. Don't look.
All right, I'm not going to look. I don't know. I'm probably gonna when I don't guess it, I'm gonna be fucking like devastated because I'm gonna know the school. I want to say the only thing that keeps coming to my fucking brain is it's not Mount St. Mary's is not Bears.
No, and they're like Division III, I believe.
Give me any type of region somewhere in the country, and then I'll guess.
I don't know.
You don't actually know? Okay.
Dude, I've heard of the school. I don't know where the fuck it is.
All right, fair. I can't think right now off the top of my head.
Dude, you could give me all the hints in the world about where the fuck they are.
I'm going to guess Mount St. Mary's because it's wrong. Give me the school. I guarantee when you tell me I'm going to be pissed.
Mercer.
Oh, of course. Damn, I wasn't even thinking about that.
Where is Mercer?
Mercer's in Macon, Georgia.
How the fuck do you know that?
Listen, buddy, the skills that I have.
Do you know they're in Macon, Georgia?
Macon, Georgia, and my buddy a kid that I played with in high school used to bust his ass, actually. Justin, if you're out there, I used to bust your ass. He transferred, went down to Florida, and then it ended up growing to like 6'8", Mike, and played there for 2 years. College basketball.
Macon, Georgia.
Justin Cecil was his name, yeah. It's Macon, Georgia.
I
also know one of my teammates was from Georgia, so you could fact check me on that, by the way. Macon, Georgia.
That's fine. Hey, I learned something else this week. Last Saturday, I learned that the Central Michigan Chippewas,
that was right.
They play in Mount Pleasant, Michigan. And
Wait, say that again?
That all too well. Central Michigan Chippewas, they play in Mount Pleasant, Michigan.
Michigan, yeah.
Mount Pleasant, Michigan. And Fizzle knows all too well with the 78 points Bert Emanuel Jr. put on.
Oh.
Put on him.
The Chippewas.
Learn the name. Learn the name, man, for your CTC folks. Bert Emanuel Jr.
Mike, best player to come out of Central Michigan is?
AB.
Yeah, I mean, well, dude's, if it wasn't for all the off the field shit, I mean, the dude's a fucking legend. So,
did he go
it's
to
not
Central
even close.
Michigan, or was it Western Michigan?
No, he was Central Michigan. Western Michigan was Corey Davis.
Corey Davis was Western Michigan. Okay.
Yeah.
AB. Yeah.
Yeah, tough to have if you're a school in the MAC, tough to have a better player come out of your school than fucking Antonio Brown, huh?
No, pretty good.
All right. Perfect opportunity to reference the movie Four Brothers as a hint.
The Mercer brothers. I got
Corey. Well, it is easier hindsight 2020, but that's actually I like that pool, Corey. Call God. Call God, homie. What up, Maddie?
Hello.
You know what? Maddie's been sitting here. Fucking. Well, maybe he hasn't. Maybe he just tuned in. But what a time to drop a fucking comment like that, huh?
That's
I
my
love
guy,
this.
man. Park your car and have it yard. Let's go
Mike,
down to Harvard and fuck up some smart kids.
One of my favorite things, dude. You're gonna do the Boston voice for him. I love that.
I love him.
You had me dying. I was in the hospital watching that. You guys on AMA there, and I caught that. I was literally dying at the fucking hospital during that part.
I think maybe on Tuesday I got to pick Maddie up in my car.
Antonio Brown, though, real quick while we're on this.
Yeah.
Remember, so he gets traded to the Raiders and all that shit, and they eventually get rid of him. And Mike, when he calls his grandma, "Grandma, I'm free!" He's fucking running around the backyard. Dog, that video had me in tears. Oh my God, hilarious.
That was the same off season that he like freezed his feet off.
Mm-hmm. He got in one of those chambers. You're supposed to fucking cover your toes, and I'm not doing that. I'm AB. I don't need that.
That was such a good Hard Knocks too, with John Gruden. You know.
So, dude.
Knock if you're with me.
Yeah, I'm with you. I will say Gruden camp though.
Smart pack.
All right.
Is there a better fucking commercial
I'm
than
actually
Smart pack?
I can't. I'm actually fucking. I needed this to tell you right now, boy. Sleep has been someone put in there.
Chippewa?
Yeah, but you still got to give it to AB.
Oh, did J.J. Watt transfer to Wisconsin? No shit, he did start as a tight end at Central Michigan.
Wasn't he barely there though?
Yeah, barely there.
He was there for one season. Okay, yeah, right. That's what I thought.
And then walked on at Wisconsin. Had no fucking clue. No clue.
I didn't realize though I'll tell you what I didn't realize, Mike, was the position change. Honestly, I knew that he went. I wouldn't have been able to guess Central Michigan. I knew he was at a smaller school prior, but
hey, one of the best players in Iowa history, Robert Gallery, who's the monster left tackle, right? Ended up kind of just being average in the NFL, but in college he was a fucking GOAT, real high NFL draft pick. He was a quarterback before he went to left tackle. Like, talk about that transition. Like, how fucking big was he as a quarterback? Jesus fucking Christ. Was he the battleship?
Speaking of transitioning, by the way, that's a kind of a hot button topic these days, transitioning, but
not for best ball.
Line up to best ball dynasty, right? I will say that this is probably one of the things that I'd say we would be best at in the space is definitely the best ball dynasty leagues. Kind of talking through strategy sides of it. The biggest tip I would say, is that you gotta have a lot of depth. Like, it's so easy. Everyone in lineup, you pretty much, especially the shallower leagues, you want to consolidate. Everybody wants to go trade 2 pieces for 1, 3 pieces for 1, and those trades are, especially if you do them more than once, potentially the most harmful to your team in best ball leagues. Now, one thing that I will say is it's not the way it used to be. Like nowadays, a lot of times in best ball leagues, if you're playing to people that are tapped in and know what they're doing, sometimes you get you craftily can make a deal, which is you're better off tiering up because it's becoming so common to down tier in best ball dynasty leagues. But it really kind of depends on how novice everybody else is in your league or how often they've been playing best ball too.
I'll say this just in general, like from startup terms. Any player from that 9 to 16 round draft position, like all of those get exponentially. That's the word I was looking for.
Infinitely.
Yeah, fuck it. Exponentially. That's what I'm going with. Better.
Okay.
Like they're more appealing, right? If you're in a lineup league and you trade your second round startup pick for a 9, a 10, 11, and a 12, people are like, "What the fuck are you doing? Are you dumb?" You do it in a best ball league, somebody's like, "This motherfucker knows what's up. This guy's on to something. He knows what's up. Like, he's competing this year." So you can expand the range however the fuck you want it, right? But just in general, like, you think about the guys who go in those range, all those guys become more valuable as pieces because, like Adam said, depth is God.
Yeah, the one way I like to think about it was when we did Mind Warp last year. Speaking of which, we are going to try to get a second version of Mind Warp out here soon. Yeah, revamped. Kind of going over some of the new stuff there. So if you're interested in that, you're a Warp subscriber, stay tapped in. We're trying to work on it. I'll say the newborn's making it a little more difficult to get content made than before, but it'll happen, buddy. It'll happen.
Understandable.
Now, the reason I say all that though, one of the ways I like to kind of think of it is, like, if you think of like the upside down. So basically, like, roster construction is almost of the inverse of what you're used to thinking as well for wide receivers and running backs in particular. So what I mean by that is, like, the way you're going to use roster construction in a lineup league, right? You want to have a bunch of players available on your bench, basically any running backs on a 53 that probably don't have any real snap share or not meaningful. So week in and week out, those players are not going to be like viable options. They don't really have an opportunity to score points. You're just waiting until they finally get a chance because of a injury in front of them, whatever the case may be, to put them in your lineup. Those type of running backs are not what you want to have too many of in best ball, right? You want to have guys in your way down your bench that have a chance to score points. So like the running back position, actually, I want to have, depending on how many starters we have in a best ball league, 6 running backs that are actually playing probably like meaningful snaps for their team. Half of the snaps or more at the running back position, right? Conversely, on the receiver spot, you don't have to go invest quite as high in the receiver position, but a lot of these, what we would consider roster clogger receivers in lineup leagues, they are very, very viable and what I want to have on my teams in best ball. So that would be like a deeper point on one of the biggest things. It's kind of like, think about it almost in a reverse psychology thing as far as how you're going to roster construct your team. If you really want to get into the weeds on that, we will probably break that down again.
I'll say this too, like some of the positions, right? When we talk about warp and you talk about everything with best ball, right? Any RB on the 53.
No foil. It'll be with Koopa and Mike probably.
Oh, both of us.
Yeah, all of us.
Oh.
Well, come on.
Ooh,
We gotta get Koopa, who's doing content, in on the Mind Warp series.
That's true.
You know?
We have to. I'll say this though for best ball too. Like one of the other things, any RB on the 53 kind of kick that shit out the window because you don't want zeros.
Yep.
This approach where you want all these backup quarterbacks in lineup leagues, you don't fucking want them in best ball, for example. To your point, Adam, like you're more likely to take any. We got to coin this phrase as like the premier dynasty best ball guys. Like I fucking think we could say it now. We can own it. I'm gonna put that in my Twitter bio. Fuck that Madden Scout thing. As the premier dynasty best ball players.
There we go.
Because we've been on this shit for a while. I will say this. Those roster clogger wide receivers like you're talking about, I much prefer to have those kind of guys. So let's call it any wide receiver on a 4 deep, right?
Boom.
If you can crack the 4 deep of your fucking wide receiver depth chart on your team, I don't give a fuck what it's for. Like you have value in a best ball league, and I want you on my roster.
Yep, and that really, in a nutshell, is probably one of the bigger takeaways. And then to the point you made about quarterbacks, I think I'd talk about it this way. How many roster spots you have in general is a big thing to keep your, really to understand. Basically, if you have a smaller bench, so you have a total of, let's say, 25 roster spots, the shorter your bench is, the more critical it is to make sure every single one of those players are literally having – you don't want to hold zeros in that format. You want to have every one of those players being an opportunity to score points. So in that league – you're going to have to fucking cut bait with people that probably have some dynasty value when you don't want to later in the year to make sure you're getting waiver wire pickups, guys that just are playing in some capacity. And then on the flip side, if it's a really long bench, I'd say as a rule of thumb, I don't ever like to have, even if it's 30 or 35 roster spots, I don't really like to have more than 3 to 5 zeros on my team. You're holding spots inefficiently on your roster. So
nailed it.
Anyway.
By the way, Maddie being in here, too. I was just scrolling through the old Twitter.
Maddie was up there the whole time. I'll leave him up. Maddie being in here. Go ahead.
Well, I was just saying, with me scrolling through the whole Twitter, his video on Monday was really good. Deontay Johnson today, speaking of camp hype. I got it. I'll get it fuck out. Trust me, I got it. Camp hype. Speaking of getting camp hype, Dave Canales out here praising the shit out of Deontay Johnson. So,
yeah, I seen this.
Deontay to the moon, motherfuckers.
You think so?
This year? Why not? I mean, who the fuck else? I love Xavier Leggett. Adam Thielen's 97 years old. They have no tight ends.
Yeah.
And their backs don't catch passes until Jonathan Brooks possibly comes back.
I like Deontay. I just the thing about it for him, he's definitely a guy best ball. In best ball, dude, give me every fucking share of Deontay for dynasty best ball. Now, what I'll say about him is I'm with you. My only concern is can Dave Canales kind of revitalize this offense? If this offense becomes midway, middle of the league efficiency or scoring points, to that degree, yeah, Deontay I think could end up being a value. My only concern is that is he getting a lot of targets and not many touchdown opportunities? That the upside is basically my question with him.
I'll put your nuts to the fire, Deontay or Hollywood Brown.
In best ball?
Doesn't matter. Lineup league, whatever. You got to roster one. Who you roster?
Who do you think trades for more?
They're both probably about the same.
Okay. I was gonna answer it whoever trades for more because I want to trade both of them. But I would rather have Deontay by a hair. Now, in a best ball league, if you might be able to twist my arm and say maybe Hollywood because it's the Chiefs offense, but I still probably would lean Deontay for most formats.
Deontay or Scary Terry?
I'll take Terry there.
Ooh, give me Deontay. Deontay or Christian Watson, dynasty-wise?
I'll tell you this. I'm not the biggest Christian Watson believer. Now, Debro's in here, and Debro has been a stan of Christian Watson. But I'll say that Christian Watson, for me, the reason I'll probably lean him is this is something like I've learned. We talked about players that you just get wrong, right? I don't have a lot of Christian Watson. And then also I think with him, if he was to stay healthy and play well and have a couple big games, his dynasty value I think is a lot more to spike than Deontay's. So that's why I would end up taking him there. Is not necessarily for the production. Like Christian Watson has a huge game week 1 or week 2, week 3. Like all of a sudden people get really fucking excited. Deontay's kind of more solidified in dynasty value, I feel.
The fact that Jameson Williams is even hovering around where Deontay Johnson's going is disgusting. But that's all I'm saying is at least for dynasty purposes, Maddie was talking about it from a redraft aspect, so it's nice to have some redraft perspective on this channel, a little bit something different.
For sure.
But I'll say at least in dynasty, Deontay Johnson is stupidly, like, easily acquirable for somebody who's going to get as much work as he can.
Big time.
I
do also think that like format dependent too. Like if you tell me longer starters, I'm a lot more interested in Deontay. So some of our rosters where we got 12 plus starters, fucking Deontay, right. I want him like crazy.
I'm not asking you in a fucking start 9 lineup league, like how interested you like.
That's what I'm saying. Start 9, start 10.
Nah,
bench. I'm just not interested.
But start 11, start 12, like fucking Deontay as my flex in a lineup league. Yeah,
for sure.
I'll take that.
For sure. That's where context, I think, is a big thing. Because to your point, if we're starting 12 players even in lineup, yeah, absolutely. I'm interested in Deontay a lot more.
Yeah, he's not too shabby. But what about this question here, man? Put Poyle up. He came back from getting a beer. How to know what to believe in camp hype. Listen, Poyle, I'll give you the quickest and the easiest one. If it's a guy I like, I believe every fucking word as long as it's good.
Oh, boy.
If it's a guy I don't like, I believe every fucking word as long as it's bad. And anything else, I don't take anything from it. That's how you deal with camp talk. Ain't that how you do it, Adam? I know that's how I do it.
Yeah, I'll say, though, I've learned by being burned by camp hype with players that I'm excited on. Like Laviska Shenault is a prime example 101 of this.
I'm riding.
Mike, can I tell you?
I'm flexing all over the place like I
was
to
actually,
tell y'all.
For content, dude, so I was trying to find like old Laviska deals. And what's funny is I didn't get as many done as I thought. Now, I drafted him a few times. But Mike, I went and looked in this league. I thought I got Laviska. Here's the crazy. I got denied. 23 first in 2 seconds, Mike.
23 first in 2 seconds. They said, "Fuck you."
Declined. That's how fucking high the buzz got on this player. I would just say be careful. Like, I don't know what to believe or not. Like, okay, Deneric Prince, is he running with the twos? Like, that's a guy that now maybe has an opportunity to see the field. That type of stuff, sure, you could kind of give a little bit of a nod to, right? But, like, players, I would be careful about buying hype of, like, this player's going to the moon that is based on just what's happening in training camp. Like, that stuff, I think, is very... Be careful about how much you buy in on that, right?
I'll give you a prime example of how like stupid I am during training camp, right? Because it's all conjecture and bullshit, really.
Right.
Almost everything. And I try to keep I don't believe anything. But I'm not going to lie to you, Adam. Like we talked about Deneric Prince. You just brought him up again about how we feel about him. And I see the hype and I'm like, well, I kind of liked him, but who really gives a shit? It's the early part of training camp. It's probably all bullshit, right? But I tell you tomorrow, if a report came out that said fucking Tyrone Tracy is running with the ones and looks 10 times better than fucking Devin Singletary, I'd be like, go get you fucking Tyrone Tracy right now. I've been telling you, that's the fucking dude. Right? That's how stupid sometimes I can get if it's a guy I like. And if it's a guy I don't like, I'm like, that's bullshit. Like I saw a JMO hype tape or a hype highlight reel or whatever the fuck today, and I'm like, God, he looks slow as fuck. Like he's gonna look real good on fucking punt.
There's nothing JMO can do or anyone can say about JMO that's gonna make Mike any bit of feeling that's not negative. I love that. That actually though is a good way to put it. I think that's just true for people in general, right? You want to. That's one of the things I think is so interesting about someone that like people come to for advice or you ask questions or like, you know, you making content is I find more often than not that the more I've been doing this, like people want to have you confirm their bias. That's really what all the, when people start looking, okay, I want to know who to draft here. There's a player they're leaning and they want to go read stuff that makes them feel better about drafting said player. And then it's like, oh, well, now if they flame, I got a scapegoat too. This person told me to draft, whoever. Christian Watson, whatever the hell we're talking about, Deontay Johnson. But yeah, people definitely are that way, Mike. We want to have our own biases confirmed, right?
We do that, man. And I love the Twitter handle, X handle, Coach Speak Index, where they got all like this shit going on and they analyze how much is just bullshit that they're spewing out there. Right. And we choose to believe some shit and we choose to believe others, but you need to be honest with yourself about what your biases are, right? Like, I love Tyrone Tracy to death, and if I saw something positive out there, I'd like hype him up, but I'm not going to go out and send a fucking second round pick for him, okay?
That's where
you got to put a cap on yourself.
Jermaine Burton.
For example, I know D-Rose in here. He loves fucking Ben Sinnott. I'm not fucking saying it as Senate because
Sinnott,
Mike. I've been over this. Sinnott.
Listen,
fuck it.
Talk to him, Corey, the realtor. Corey, Tom's realtor. Love this. Go ahead.
Dan Quinn's out here talking about how Zach Ertz is the dude. He's not fucking here to coach. It's his pass catching, route running, and his third down ability. That's why Zach Ertz is here. And it's like, just pour water on that Ben Sinnott.
Damn.
Like love for his rookie year. Like, until Zach Ertz gets hurt, which is a possibility, just pour it on there. But I'm sure when D-Bro looks at it, we're in training camp, he looks at it, he goes, that's bullshit. That's full of shit. And I get it, but that's how we all are, in all honesty.
I mean, yeah, if you're someone that really is paying attention to this part of the year, right? Like, you're in the sicko crowd and you have biases, no matter if you want to believe them or not. There's just no way around it. You have things in players that you're, it is fucking Senate. Damn. The senator. The commander and the senator. I love that. I love that.
I'm a white American from the Midwest.
Mike.
That's Sinnott. I can spell.
See, D-Bro's right. You guys, that's what it was. You guys listen to different things.
You see, exactly. This is what I'm talking about, right?
That's exactly. Nah, that's for sure. It's
I
like
hear Dan Quinn talking, and I'm like, well, fuck Ben Sinnott. This is Zach Ertz's fucking baby to start with.
There's something called, like, you could apply it to reading, whatever, but something everyone's probably familiar with, selective hearing, right? You speak a whole bunch of shit to somebody. Well, that's the primary. If you're married, you understand more than anyone. But yeah, you tend to hear what the parts of the conversation you want to hear and the things you want.
We're human. We're human. You hear what you want to hear.
Sometimes I'm barely human, Mike. I wake up and I'm like, what the fuck am I becoming?
Well, that's because you're a zombie. Like, you stay up till 9 a.m.
It's no longer by choice that I stay up now. It's crying kid, another crying kid. It's fun.
Sicko mode's going to the Pats camp to get eyes on the wide receiver.
What was it? There was a question here that I pulled up and now I fucking got rid of it. Oh, during a rebuild, if you own an opponent's 24 first, are you hesitant to continue trading with them, or do you continue collecting picks from the owner?
Both.
This is
I don't want to make them too good.
Poison pill. Do you give them the antidote, Mike? That's what this is, right?
I try not to give them the antidote, right? But I'm also not. I'm not going to turn down a good deal either.
Mm-hmm.
I worry about the context of the deal first, and then I worry about the bigger picture afterwards.
I would say this to this question. I basically am of the mindset now that I don't have the fucking antidote, Mike. Variance is such a crazy fickle thing that I'm not going to pretend like I'm the person that has the medicine. Now, what I will say, the exception to this, if I'm looking at a team that is absolute ass cheeks, I'm talking like bare ass awful, like no scenario where they're getting outside of the top 3 picks. Okay, now is where I'd probably start saying, nah, I'm just going to like watch this roster rot, as opposed to giving them, even if they're what I think are dead bodies on my rebuild, like I don't want to give them some crusty, cheap production player like a James Conner even there, right? Like I'm netting back a player that could actually give them points per game that helps them get outside of the top 4. So that it's basically understanding like you want to get off a Conner for even a third or something, but that third for Conner, I probably can find elsewhere for something similar, as opposed to helping him get like little cheap, crusty production pieces on his team. So I think it's the only scenario where I really care too much is if it's a bottom fucking seller team that I don't want to have them like find a way to become somewhat mildly competitive because they have no other interest. They don't have their pick. They're going to do everything they can to make trades that get better.
Let's say it's a team that's like middle of the road, kind of. I do like sending them. I'm not going to call them poison pills, but I like to make their team more fragile, right? Where maybe their
us about
depth
this.
has.
This is interesting.
Well, maybe I take some of their depth away so they can upgrade their wide receiver 2 position. You know what I mean? So like, yeah, definitely, buddy. I'll let you up tier this position because I'm gonna sap away all this depth. And listen, if you're fucking right, good. I lost it, but I'm banking on the fact that now your team is more fragile and you have less assets to be able to recover if you suffer an injury or something bad happens. So
yeah,
I don't mind. Kind of like with glass, right? Just putting that extra little crack in. Like, well, let's at least get it started. It may not break, but we're gonna get started. Or maybe Jenga is a good one. Let me take one more block out. We'll put it on the top, and it looks real nice for you. But now you're a little bit more unstable. So I don't necessarily shy away from it unless, like you said, this dude is complete garbage, and this is definitely the 101 or 102. Then fuck you. I'm not helping you in any sense.
I think we're on the same page here. It's like if I can find a way to either take away future draft capital, doing things to eventually still continue to take away their dynasty value, I'll lean into that. So I'm curious here, Trip Crown, on this one because I didn't put it in the video. Mike, I'm curious why your thoughts are on this, Trip Crown, but like I did not, while doing all the data research on first round picks, come away feeling like the later picks are invaluable. Now, those players, I think if they start slowly, could definitely, become quickly a Quentin Johnston type, Sky Moore type, right? They don't have the dynasty value insulation. But one of the crazy parts about doing this, I'll just give you this context here. So currently, players that are first-round picks between 2019 and 2023, Mike, that are in the top 10 as far as keep trade cut. 110, Justin Jefferson. 106, 106, and 105. Now, to your point, first 6 picks, but like the early part of it, literally none of those were early picks. The top 10 right now, none of those were early picks. The one thing is the value insulation of 101, 102, 103 type picks. Like a guy like CEH even. He didn't even lose a lot of value, believe it or not, after his rookie season, and it wasn't even the greatest because people still want to buy into the player. So I get it on, I guess, the value insulation, but any one of these first-round picks that hits can fucking take off, man. Dalton Kincaid, 110, is currently one of the winners from last year's class. Like to me, I think it depends on how you view it. For me, I don't view late first-round picks as invaluable. I actually came away liking him more. Justin Herbert, late pick. Justin Jefferson, late pick.
Yeah.
Jalen Waddle, late pick. Devontae Smith, late pick. Devon Achane, late pick. Dalton Kincaid, late pick. George Pickens, late pick. Zay Flowers, late pick. Like, Mike, I'm looking at the top 50 players on Keep Trade Cut, and a lot of them actually be late picks. Now, it's just that the dynasty value does fall off if those players don't do shit in their first year.
Yeah, I don't think that's the floor is worse, right? I
Correct.
like that takeaway.
Correct.
The floor is worse, but the ceiling is just as good as some dude who was taking 101, 102, 103 in the class.
Yeah,
I'm with you on that because we've seen that. There's so many good fucking examples of it.
But to give you context,
is definitely worse.
The floor is worse. So I think that's where it depends on the context. I'll give you top 50 right now. Okay, I'm sorry, no, these are top 75. All right, 101 to 104 pick. Based on ADP, 10 of them. 105 to 108, 9 of them. 109 to 112, 8 of them. So it's not
even that bad.
It's those players can absolutely hit. The problem is, I think the biggest thing to note with the late picks is probably just trying to recoup value on the ones that you fucking whiff on is the biggest thing. One of the biggest takeaways for me from that first round data.
I guess like the other part of the first round data that would be interesting is like how quickly they
I went over that.
They fall out of the range. Yeah,
so
right?
what was interesting? Go ahead.
How long does it take? Like some dude who is the 101, 102 example.
Yeah.
Like historically the bus and then the the total number at the end of the day is very similar, right?
Yep.
Like between 10 and fucking 8, Adam, and that's not a big difference between the two.
No.
One end of the spectrum, the other end of the spectrum, but how quickly do they reach that?
Yeah,
all the way back.
So it depends on the player and depends on how bad it was. So, like, one example that sticks out to me as far as somebody that lost a lot of value early, not probably as much as they would today, is Treylon Burks, actually. So, Treylon Burks,
True.
wide receiver 14, after his rookie season was wide receiver 22, overall 73. But, like, that's still a lot better than what Quentin Johnston was with his fall because he was a later pick. But, like, a year later, T-Law is a really good example. If somebody believes in the talent, that dude had a really horrible rookie season, but you can point to generational player, horrible situation, Urban Meyer. Yep. CEH even, right? CEH after his rookie season, so a full year removed, was overall player 33, down from overall player 10. Trevor Lawrence, overall player 14, down to 29. So one of the things about the early picks is basically, even if you are starting to sniff that there's something here you don't like, you can probably trade away at a pretty good value. The value insulation was one of the biggest things for me about first-round picks in general, and that is definitely still true for the early parts. People don't want to give up. Like, JSN was a mid-pick, right? JSN's probably the quintessential person to think about for this. Like, we don't really know here. It's very, very uneven as far as what people think, but he's still almost a top 50 player, overall 58 on Keep Trade Cut, because people believe in the name. But next year this time, if he doesn't do it, you know what he's going to go? Bye-bye.
Yeah. I think for you and I, at least on how we've always kind of played,
yeah,
where we have a plethora of picks when we decide that we're going to rebuild or not contend or be out of it. Mm-hmm. Like, you and I are never really rebuilding a team that only has a single first-round pick, and it's like, I just got to make this the 101 and do the best I fuck. Like, fuck that. No, like, I will trade with fucking Corey in my league, even though Corey's got a super team. Like, let me get another first-round pick. Let me add another one to the plethora, because we've talked many, many times about how having 33% of the draft class is just, you have so much leverage because you get to do what you want. You're one of the only people that has the ability to trade away first-round picks, and, you know, other people are like, I'm going to stick and pick. This is the only fucking pick I have, or whatever it is. So I think for you and I, just naturally on how we've played first-round picks, and that's probably why we've had a decent amount of success, I would say, is because it doesn't matter if we're picking 101 through 112. Your hit rates, your longevity, kind of all evens out in the long run, right?
Yeah, and I think
may whiff on a fucking Clyde Edwards-Helaire at 102, but then you came back and you got, you know, a Justin Herbert or Justin Jefferson type, you know, in that draft class with the 110.
And that I think the biggest takeaway or point from the video for me with moving forward is to think about it from the standpoint of, okay, if I'm drafting these late round picks, Mike, or even early, like, the upside is inherently there. Like, we know that all these players can end up going to the moon and become cornerstones for your team. The biggest thing for me is kind of understanding when is best to get out of these assets. And I'm starting to become, with all the data and just the way I've been thinking about my teams and the players that I've watched go to fucking nothing. Like, Bryce Young actually was one of the players I should have started with here. He is going to be probably one of the more interesting of all of these, because this is a guy that was inside the top 25 when he was drafted, right? Overall players. He had a free fall. He's outside the top 75 now, quarterback 20. Like, what happens for him this year is probably going to define what his value is. He definitely has a lot to gain from there, but going into year 3, if it's another rough kind of year and now they have the, you know, Dave Canales, so, like, what does that become? I don't know. No, it feels like there's not much to go down from quarterback 20, but I guess the point is, you can, after a year, probably no matter how bad it is, still trade these guys for something. Quentin Johnston, I still pulled a bunch of trades, Mike. You can get a second for Quentin Johnston surprisingly easily. Like, there are still some alarming trades going on for me for Quentin Johnston. So, like, just knowing to recoup that for something, even if you don't like it, the odds of Quentin Johnston hitting is fucking nothing. Why hold it because you think you're going to have something happen there, right? And I think that's the biggest thing for me is you definitely have upside, but trying to trade out of the bust earlier than later.
I get you. I'm with you on that one. All right, get one more question and bounce out of here.
Yeah.
Plus a free fact for you today.
Okay. Free facts. I love this.
This Twitter, man. Twitter's good and bad. A free fact for you today. Okay. Saving Private Ryan was released 26 years ago today to movie theaters.
Damn.
Doesn't that make you feel old as fuck knowing that Saving Private Ryan was
Mike,
26 fucking years
my
old
hair
today?
is falling out. I got 2 kids now, but that still does make me just feel a little bit older. It definitely adds to it. I'm going to go 2. I'm going to give 2 because there's a 14 team in here by Dirty Bird that I feel like we can't pass up because it got some quarterbacks in there. 12 team, 1 quarterback. Oh, Mike, you got to get this 1 quarterback out of you here.
God, Jesus, fuck Adam, you're
Mike,
back again.
1 quarterback, half
these.
PPR. Okay, cool, hook 'em. Listen, we got to help you, buddy. You're in the right place. Just get a different league. But give Laporta, Kenneth Walker, Javonte, get Brees and Mark Andrews. Worth it.
Definitely.
Kenneth Walker and Javonte for fucking Brees Hall is a smash. Mike, can I get the little sounder, the lip sounder? Yeah, smash.
Catch you, buddy.
And I love in a format like this, and any format in general, can I get value out of the pivot down from Laporta to Andrews? And if the answer is yes, like for something like this, it's smash. Absolutely smash.
Because I get much more value on the pivot up. Pretty good.
Damn, I thought mine had it. I'm not sure what this means. Did I miss a comment? Oh, all right.
Maybe.
I'll tell you what, it worked. It worked, you sage. AR, Baker, Monty. This is just a team. All right. 10 teams start 10. With 10
Jesus,
IDP.
fuck.
Mike is so happy. Tight end premium late 25 first, best team. And 2 mid 26 first or Jaden Daniels. A mid 25 second Eric Kendricks and Latu. It's hard to evaluate those players in this trade. The IDPs typically don't matter, no matter how many you add to it, unless you have scoring like Mike. So I don't give a fuck about the defensive players, frankly.
Nope. So 1 first, 2 mid first. So 3 firsts for Jaden Daniels and a bunch
second.
of shit. Give me all the first.
In a 10 team, I'm definitely taking. I like the upside of Daniels a lot, but I'm not doing this.
Sure do.
Not
Give me
doing
all
that.
the first. Give me the 3 first.
There you go. You got it.
You
By
can
the way,
have all the other stuff.
Sage, way to get my attention there. 14 team, Dirty Bird. Last question, Mike. This is the last question, and
this is good league.
Mike, are you excited?
There it is. It's 14.
Music's on.
What,
He's got a piss, and it's a 14 team league with quarterbacks in it. 14
Listen,
team
my
start
balls.
Superflex. Oh my God, he has been fondling those things. It's really getting gruesome. Start 9 PPR, no tight end premium. I'm one of the 3 teams with a solid quarterback 3. Lamar, Daniels, Levis. Should I look to trade Levis to fill other holes, being its 14 team? What would be a good return new league? Yeah, but at what cost? Like at what cost? Basically, what can Levis actually net you in this? This might be one of those trades where I would be probably waiting until the season starts because people then will realize, oh fuck, I need a quarterback. Injuries will happen, and the price kind of goes up on Levis. Where right now, there's nothing moving his value in this dead cycle.
Especially if he comes out. Listen, I like Will Levis. I know people hate him, but what if Will Levis the first couple weeks comes out and you're like, God damn, with Calvin Ridley and DeAndre Hopkins and this kind of like Bengals.
Brian Callahan's got him going. Shit.
Yeah, what if he's cooking a little bit? Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying he's got to throw for 350 and 4 touchdowns in the first couple weeks, but if he's right around 300 yards, not making too many mistakes, and you're like, okay, I can see it. His value's going up. Like, there's going to be a bump just because he's a young quarterback that we don't expect a whole lot from. So I'm probably just holding for now and kind of waiting, like Adam said, until people go, fuck, man, I really need another quarterback. Really do. My dude just got injured. Fuck, I need one. So right now it's probably not the best time to trade him.
Yeah.
If you could get something smashed, though, where it's like you can get like a back-end RB1, pretty decent wide receiver 2 type.
Yeah, like give me a running back here. Fucking
Rashee White.
There you go. I like it. Pivot.
I'm just throwing out a name.
Yeah, with you. James Cook, something like that, right?
Yeah, there you go. If you wanted to make that move, sure.
If you can get that done, I would do it now. But otherwise, you probably have more leverage when someone needs a QB and you got it. So
I'd wait on the leverage.
Dirty Bird, everybody here, super chats, appreciate it. We will see you back here, same time, same place for AMA next Wednesday, and then we got the Expo, Mike. The Expo. Yeah. Can you believe the Expo?
We're gonna do an AMA live from the Expo. You think?
I think we got to do something. We do. It's just
we'll try. We'll see how it works out with your.
It may not end up.
Baby and
it may not end up being Wednesday, but we'll definitely be streaming during the Expo.
Gotcha.
But dial that in, buddy. Just
I'm doing a podcast with Tommy Blair on Tuesday.
That's what you told me. Yeah, I'll be set up with the equipment. Don't you worry, buddy. You'll be ready to go. Tommy, hit me back up if you want to do something with me, but it's okay that we didn't do anything together all these years later. But I'm excited to hear that. Tommy Blair's a pretty... he's a contrarian. He likes to fuck things up. Speaking of the whole, Step Brothers thing, we're here to fuck shit up. He plays with some really interesting tactics. I like kind of the way he thinks about it. So I'm curious to hear what you guys do there. But anyway, we'll see you back here, same time, same place next week for AMA. We're out of here. Peace.